Hello everybody, I'm Dr. S. Chitra from Government College of Technology, Coimbatore. Now I'm going to discuss about the ingredients of concrete. Cement. Cement is the essence of concrete. Now I am going to discuss about the manufacturing process of cement and its constituents. Cement is a general term which applies to any binder. In 1824, Joseph Aspdin obtained the patent for this material. Cement is the active material in the concrete which is manufactured under controlled conditions. The particle size of cement ranges from 0.1 to 250 microns. About 1 ton of cement production releases approximately 1 ton of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. More than 7% of world's carbon dioxide emission is due to Portland cement. It is very energy intensive material. As we all know, Portland cement is a binding medium which has both adhesive and cohesive property. Portland cement can be manufactured by both wet process and dry process. In the wet process, the raw materials are grinded and mixed with about 35 to 50% of water, and then it is fed into a rotary kiln in which the temperature is raised to 1900 degree centigrade. In the dry process, the raw materials are mixed with a very less amount of water, namely 12%, and then it is fed into the rotary kiln in which it is subjected to 1500 degree centigrade. As the dry process requires less fuel, it is preferred worldwide. Now, we'll discuss about the manufacturing of Portland cement. The raw materials for the manufacturing of Portland cement includes argillaceous material like clay, calcareous material like limestone, iron oxide, gypsum, etc. Initially, the limestone which is brought from the quarry is crushed into smaller fragments. By using ball mill or tube mill, the raw materials are grinded and mixed intimately in certain proportions and burnt in the rotary kiln in which the materials sinters and partially fuses to form nodule shaped clinker. Then the clinker is cooled and mixed with gypsum and it is subjected to closed circuit grinding. By using high efficiency cyclonic separator, the cement of desired particle size is extracted. Then the cement is stored in silos and it is transported to required site using bags. We'll discuss about the process which is happening in the rotary kiln. Rotary kiln is the main component of a cement industry. Rotary kiln is a thick steel cylinder lined with refractory material. It has a diameter of about 8 meter and the length of the kiln is approximately 200 meter. It is mounted on a roller bearing. It is capable of rotating about its own axis at a specified speed. Rotary kiln is slightly inclined to the horizontal such that the material which is fed at the upper end undergoes a series of chemical reaction while moving to the lower end. The gas temperature varies from 450 degrees centigrade to 1550 degrees centigrade, whereas the feed temperature varies from 50 degrees centigrade to 1450 degrees centigrade. Either coal or natural gas is used as fuel for firing. Now, let us discuss about the process which is happening inside the rotary kiln. There are 4 zones inside the rotary kiln, namely dehydration zone, calcination zone, clinkering zone and cooling zone. The temperature of dehydration zone is up to 600 degree centigrade, in which the whole water gets evaporated. The temperature of calcination zone varies from 600 degree centigrade to 1300 degree centigrade. Decomposition of limestone takes place here, followed by the formation of tetracalcium aluminoferrite and dicalcium silicate. The mixture starts melting in this zone. The next zone is the clinkering zone, in which the temperature varies from 1300 degree centigrade to 1450 degree centigrade. The mixture is completely in molten liquid form in this zone. The formation of tricalcium aluminate occurs here, followed by the formation of tricalcium silicate. Next comes the cooling zone. Here there is a sudden decline of temperature from 1450 degree centigrade to 25 degree centigrade. Here the liquid material completely changes to solid clinker particles. Proper cooling of clinker is very important because the rate of cooling influences the mineralogy of the clinker, that is, the degree of crystallization, size of crystals and the amount of amorphous material. Now, we will discuss about the importance of gypsum addition to the cement clinker. Proper amount of gypsum addition controls the reactivity of tricalcium aluminate and also controls the setting time behavior of cement. The amount of gypsum to be added in the cement clinker depends on the quantity of tricalcium aluminate. For 5% to 12% of tricalcium aluminate, the amount of gypsum to be added is approximately 4% to 6%. Improper quantum of gypsum affects the strength development, increases the shrinkage and also increases the chances of sulfate attack. In India, Portland cement is classified as 33 grade OPC, 43 grade OPC and 53 grade OPC. The 3 days, 7 days and 28 days strength of all these grade of OPC is shown in the table. The 33 grade OPC should have a minimum compressive strength of 33 megapascal at 28 days. Similarly, 43 OPC should have a minimum compressive strength of 43 megapascal at 28 days and also for 53 grade OPC, the minimum compressive strength at 28 days should be 53 megapascal. This slide shows the oxide composition of Portland cement. It can be seen that calcium oxide is the predominant oxide in the cement, followed by silicon dioxide, aluminum oxide, etc. And the high lime content increases the setting time of cement and also responsible for higher strength. If there is a decrease in the lime content, it reduces the setting time. Also, high silica content prolongs the setting time and also responsible for higher strength of the cement. Presence of excess unburnt lime delays the hydration process and also it causes expansion and finally deterioration of concrete results. Iron oxide acts as catalyst and helps in burning process. It gives color to the cement. Magnesia causes unsoundness if it is present in larger quantities. This slide shows the compound composition of Portland cement. The major compounds of Portland cement are tricalcium silicate, dicalcium silicate, tricalcium aluminate, tetracalcium aluminoferrite. The oxide composition of tricalcium silicate is 3CaO SiO2, which is abbreviated as C3S and occupies 25 to 50% by mass of cement. The oxide composition of dicalcium silicate is 2CaO SiO2, which is abbreviated as C2S, and occupies about 20 to 45% by mass of cement. The oxide composition of tricalcium aluminate is 3CaO which is abbreviated as C3A and occupies about 5 to 12% by mass of cement. The oxide composition of tetracalcium aluminoferrite is 4CaO Fe2O3 which is abbreviated as C4AF and occupies about 6 to 12% by mass of cement. This picture shows the schematic presentation of various compounds in clinker. We are able to see C3S, C2S, C3A and C4AF clearly in this picture. Now, we will look into the basic properties of Portland cement. Both tricalcium silicate and dicalcium silicate occupies about 70 to 80% of the cement. Tricalcium silicate is characterized by faster rate of hydration which is accompanied by greater heat evaluation, and this is responsible for early age strength development. It needs 24% water by weight. Dicalcium silicate hydrates slowly and it has low heat of hydration. This is responsible for much of the ultimate strength. Dicalcium silicate needs 21% water by weight and it is more resistant to chemical attack. Tricalcium aluminate is a compound which is fast reacting with water, which results in immediate stiffening of the paste. It reacts with 40% of water by mass. It has got weak resistance against sulfate attack. It has highest heat of evaluation both during the initial period and also in the long run. Tetracalcium aluminoferrite is more stable than tricalcium aluminate. This slide shows the Borg equation. The direct determination of compound composition requires special equipments and skill, which is not necessary for routine quality control. Therefore, oxide analysis is done, and from the set of equations developed by Borg, the compound composition is determined. The amount of tricalcium silicate, dicalcium silicate, tricalcium aluminate, tetracalcium aluminoferrite is determined from the oxides like calcium oxide, silicon dioxide, aluminum oxide, iron oxide and SO3. C3S, C2S, C3A, C4AF are sometimes called as halite, belite, salite and phthalate, which is known as Borg's compound. With this, I conclude this video. Hope this video would be useful to you. Thank you for your time in watching this video.